So we've just published the latest iteration of our social publishing index for summer 2025. And if you don't know what that is, basically we take a group of 50 publishers that runs the gamut from the New York Times to the BBC to the likes of Vogue, Bleacher Report, Lad Bible, etc. And we look at how they're performing on different platforms. So the platforms we're looking at here are the web, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll do some more videos with specifics about certain publishers, certain platforms, but here's the top lines of some of the things that we've learned. The first thing to say is that while TikTok is still the biggest platform for these publishers by a long way, engagement has actually dipped quite considerably. So that's a drop of more than 30% quarter over quarter for this group. That's been led by some big drops from two of the biggest publishers in Q1, which were ESPN and Bleacher Report, who both had drops in engagement of closer to 50% or so. So now they're still seeing hundreds of millions of engagements, of course, but ESPN had more than 1 billion engagements in Q1, so it's a pretty big drop. And what that says to us is because they didn't change anything huge, so there's a lesson that there is still a vulnerability to platform changes there, and that a diversification in audience development strategy on social is obviously still a crucial thing, despite the big numbers that you can get on TikTok. And speaking of diversification, I think it's really important to note that Facebook has been extremely stable for news in the last quarter. So it's actually the only platform wherein the engagement increased quarter over quarter with a rise of 6%. Every other platform saw a drop of between kind of 10 and 30%, as we said, for TikTok. So that was primarily driven by Fox News, who had its best quarter since before 2018, which is when our data starts. And that's kind of a crazy thing to say, given how much engagement there was in 2020, 2021, when we were all stuck at home hyperfixating on the news. So the fact that Fox just had its biggest quarter on Facebook for 8+ years is really a big deal. But all of which to say, Facebook's still a really important platform for publishers. Again, we'll do another video on Fox's tactics here, but a huge quarter on Facebook for them. And the final thing I want to highlight is just a tactical thing. And on each platform, we looked at whether posting more helps publishers get more engagement in the aggregate. And the answer is mostly no, actually. There are some platforms where it does seem to be true, so TikTok particularly, where there's a really strong correlation, but there's a really weak correlation on most of the other platforms, especially the likes of X, where there's almost no relationship seemingly between posting more frequently and getting more engagement. So you can go read the report. We'll put the link in the comments, and I'll be back to do more breakdowns of some of the specific success stories. But let us know if you have any questions in the meantime. Happy to talk about methodology or any other insights from the report in the meantime. Thanks.